Ladies and gentlemen, when I was a young boy, I was totally in love with playing chess. So I was skinny, clumsy, and pale. And my parents brought me to the doctor. And the doctor said to me, Paul needs to play more outside in the open. So my father dragged me to a children's playground. And on the children's playground, you have a toy. It's called a monkey bar. And this is a horizontal set of bars, and children cross, moving from bars to bars. So my father, he lifted me up, and I was hanging there, stiff as a board. And after a couple of seconds, my father said to me, Paul, you have to let go in order to reach out. Now, at that age, I was a very obedient boy, so I let go. And half an hour later, I was back at the doctor's office. And the doctor said to me, next time you have to let go strategically. And this is what we call strategic quitting. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to talk about strategic quitting. And the reason is that we have heard dozens of magnificent ideas how to create a great future for 9 billion people. But the thing is that ideas are worthless without us taking massive action. And what I'm going to show you is that it is through the strange secret of strategic quitting that you can move yourself from being inspired to becoming absolutely unstoppable. Now, the strange story of strategic quitting starts with understanding what happens with your energy and enthusiasm level between having an idea in your head and realizing this idea in the real world. Because the first moment an idea grabs you, whoa, you are enthusiastic. And your energy and enthusiasm level is high. And then you start to take action. And progress is slow, and people start to make fun of you. And at a certain point in time, you reach a plateau. And then you got a little bit of success. Ding, ding. Yeah. And then you're invited to speak at TED. Ding, ding. But only in the end, when your success becomes inevitable, whoa, it goes through the roof. And this curve, which starts over here and ends all the way over there, it's what we call the valley of death. And the reason that we call this the valley of death is that somewhere along your journey, you will get stuck. You will get stuck. And the scientific term for getting stuck in the valley of death is called procrastination. Now, procrastination means knowing that you need to do something, not doing it, and feeling miserable about it. That's procrastination. And if you want to become an unstoppable goal achiever, you have to overcome procrastination. And not once, but every single day. So how do they do that? And to answer that question, we need to take a closer look at the human mind, our brains. And there's a very simple model which describes our brain, which we can use here. And this model tells us that actually our brain, the human brain, consists of multiple brains. And one brain is called a lizard brain. And this is the part of your brain which is totally focused on the status quo. It hates risk and it hates uncertainty. Now, on the opposite side of the brain spectrum, you have another brain, it's called the neocortex, also known as the thinking brain. And this part of the brain can best be compared to the crazy uncle who always shows up at family parties. Yeah, because this is the part of your brain which wants to do cool stuff. This is the part of your brain which wants to do bungee jumping and skydiving and growing hamburgers in your living room. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. In order to do all this cool stuff, by definition, you have to take risk. And this causes tension. Tension with the lizard brain. And this tension is what the brain scientists call the war in heaven. The war between your ears. Now, the outcome of this war is very predictable. And the reason is that your lizard brain is the oldest brain that you have. It was there first. And because it is the oldest brain, it has been granted veto power over your body. In other words, if it believes you're going to do something stupid, it will literally pull the plug. And we see that sometimes. In moments of great stress, we see people faint. Oh. Yeah. It gets even worse. If you are in mortal danger, you run the risk of losing control of your bladder. Now, for those of you who didn't know this is the very reason that lion tamers, bullfighters, and TED speakers always wear dark trousers. Now, coming back to our subject. You have to overcome your lizard brain, and unstoppable goal achievers have to do that. Now, the good news is that brain scientists have found two surefire ways of doing exactly that. Drugs and alcohol. Yeah. Now, using drugs and alcohol to achieve your goals would be wrong. So unstoppable goal achievers have found a third way of overcoming their lizard brain. And they know a little secret. And that secret is that your lizard brain is your natural quitter. It loves to quit. So this is what unstoppable goal achievers do. While they are crossing the valley of death, they give it strategically stuff to quit. They feed the crocodile to keep it happy. That's what they do. And this is a cunning plan, because it means for unstoppable goal achievers, strategic quitting is knowing that you need to do something, not doing it, and feeling magnificent about it. Now, how do they do that? And there's a great practical application which you can use immediately to move massively towards your goals. And this application is called Delegation. Now, delegation probably doesn't mean what you think it means. Because for many people, delegation means giving my work to someone else. But that's not delegation, that's management, something very different. What delegation actually means is giving something which is work for me to someone else for whom it is play. And it's based on the ideas that there are millions of people who simply love to do what you detest doing. And for those of you who are skeptical about this concept, keep in mind that today, on this very stage, we have seen people eating small bugs and swallowing big swords. And this is the real secret of unstoppable goal achievers. They are master delegators. Take, for example, Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein was relatively weak in mathematics. So while he was dreaming up the theory of relativity, he had a crack team of mathematicians knocking themselves out to make all the numbers work. And they loved it. Albert Einstein didn't clutter his mind to become some kind of expert in mathematics. No. No. Albert Einstein chose immortality by focusing on physics instead. And this is the great secret of unstoppable goal achievers. Because what they do is that they relentlessly and brutally focus on their strength, their very few strength. And at the same time, they strategically quit everything which is associated with their many weaknesses. And the reason is that they know that if you would spend your entire life trying to compensate your weaknesses, the only thing you'll end up with is a large set of very strong weaknesses. And this is why we have to say unstoppability means you have to let go in order to reach out. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Austrian philosopher Arnold Schwarzenegger. My favorite. Arnold Schwarzenegger once said, "No one has ever built muscles by watching me working out." And this is true for us today. Because TED is about ideas worth spreading. But ideas are worthless without us taking massive action. And what we have seen is that it is through strategic quitting that you can move yourself from being inspired today to becoming absolutely unstoppable tomorrow. However, before you jump out of your seats and boldly start to quit stuff, keep in mind the following. Strategic quitting is a very dangerous idea when thoughtlessly applied. And the reason is that there is a very fine line between strategic quitting on the one hand and on the other hand, giving in to your lizard brain and giving up on your magnificent dreams. And unstoppable goal achievers, they know that. Because every time they decide to enter the valley of death, they have to steel themselves. Because they know that failure is seldom fatal. But they also know that success is never final. In the valley of death, in the end, it is only your courage to continue which really counts.